good, y'all? And welcome to my review for this week's episode of the 1,000-Year Blood War anime. We are back once again, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, we are at this the second and final week where I have to review two shows on the same day, man. Although it is already 2 o'clock in the morning at the time I am recording this part of the episode. It's not, and I'll probably might sound different once I actually start recording the rest of the episode, because I'll be actually go to bed. Because One Piece is on right now, and Tuna's like, fucking let me go record let me at least get started on recording the Bleach review, so it's a little bit easier for me to do it on tomorrow. But yeah, man, it's 2 a.m. right now. I'm fucking tired. I've been up since 6 a.m., just reviewing Yuwach, getting that done, and all the moving that was happening there with most moon starts in storage. Yeah, I am fucking tired, man. I just want to go to bed. But I still got Dragon Ball and Yuwach to watch and Toonami, man, so I ain't done yet, man. But anyway, guys, this was a phenomenal episode, man. And also, guys, one last other thing. Please leave a like on this video so that my suffering was not in vain, but yeah, man. Anyway, guys, like I said, sorry again for, the delay in the review, man. Thankfully, this is the last week where I have to do double reviews. Next week, it's just Bleach and Uzumaki. That's all I gotta worry about. Then it'll just be Bleach. I'll only have to worry about until Dragon Ball Daima starts and the dub is, airing on Crunchyroll or whatever. Then, I'll be reviewing Daima. But, this is the last week I gotta review 2 shows on the same day. Thank fucking Christ, man. Because, man, these 2 weeks have been hell, man. Have been hell trying to get these reviews done. But anyway, as I was saying, the episode itself was absolutely masterful, man. I don't know who was the storyboard artist or the director. I don't know who was the director and the storyboard artist, or one or the other. If it was 2 different people, whatever the case may be, man, they fucking cooked. This episode looked absolutely spectacular. It was amazing to recommend. The storyboarding was on point throughout the entire episode, man. There were some really cool shots in this episode, man. The effects work was on point, man. We got some cool Sakuga in here as well, which is always a plus when we get that in the Blood War, man. The voice acting was superb from Morita and Yuha Seiyus. You guys are definitely getting a double reaction with this episode. Once the dub airs, man, we get to hear JYP with Richard Epcard. Yeah, man, I'm excited, man. We still haven't got any dates to have the dub, but I'm sure it's going to be around the same time as when the previous 2 cores air in terms of when the release date is. But, yeah, man, without further ado, let's jump right into the actual review. So we start the episode off with some narration from Yuha saying farewell to the Soul King, the one who sees the future, my father. And I think the way this whole section of the episode is directed was really cool, where we see, a black screen, and then we see Yuha's eyes open. Or at least I'm assuming that they're meant to be Yuha's eyes. Yuha's eyes open after he says, my father, and then we see Yuha in this massive pool of water. There is some figure out into the distance who I'm assuming is the Soul King. I could be wrong, it could be someone else. I am by no means an expert on Bleach lore. Watch James for that, or TBZ Edwards. You want Bleach lore? Those are your guys. They know the series backwards and forwards. I am but a casual Bleach fan, so if you want some more detail, informative shit about this, and maybe better theories that can better explain what the hell I was looking at here, go watch them. Anyway, we see Yuha. We cut back to Yuha while he's in this pool, and he gets older and older before he finally sinks down to the bottom of the ocean and then de-ages back to a baby. Before we once again reuse the shit that they've reused this cut a lot throughout the Blood War anime since Core 2. It's come out a couple times in the Core 2. It's been used a couple times in Core 3 already. Don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful cut. I do not blame Perioff Films for constantly reusing it because it's amazing to look at, man. But they have been recycling this cut a handful of times throughout the anime. And the music here was also fantastic as well, man. Shout out to Sagasu, man. He did an amazing job with the OST for this episode, man. I'm assuming these are new tracks. These could be old tracks either from the Core 1 or the Core 2 soundtracks, or from the original Bleach anime. But like I said, I don't know if these are fully new tracks for Core 3, but the song that was playing throughout part of the episode, man, the opening part of the episode, man, was fantastic. I love this song, man. And this, like I said, it was really well directed and storyboarded. One other cut that I thought was really cool, as right after we get the whole thing with Yuha, the reuse cut from Core 2, he says, can you hear that? The voices of the 14 as we see the Soul King, before we see Ichigo form on top of it, like a symbiote kind of thing. And the sound effects that were used here, man, was a really nice touch as well. I really like the way this opening bit of the episode was directed, man. It was done really, really well. I think it was really cool. We then cut over to Orihime and the others guys going up to the royal palace. Orihime is using one of like her healing shield things to like lift them up into the air, man, which once again looked amazing. The effects were, I think I might have mentioned this at the start of the review, but the effects work throughout this episode, man, was absolutely spectacular, man. Great work from the effects work team from there. We then head over quickly back to the Serente, to the Soul Society, man, where we basically see the shaking as we start to see the realm start to destabilize, as we know that they're all, because Yuwach stabbed the Soul King, starting to get a little bit destabilized. As we see shaking, like everyone's, and like you had Rukia and Renji, so it's cool to see them. Renji's asking what all the shaking is about. Rukia doesn't know. We then cut over to see what's going on with we then see a bunch of other characters kind of reacting to this, man. We see Bosby, which is pretty cool to see him. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Bosby, man. Bambi makes a quick cameo appearance in this episode, man, which was good to see her, except Giselle was in the frame too, which instantly put me in a bad mood, man. Fuck Giselle. But at least Lily Toto was also in the frame as well. So you know what? I got two of my favorite Stern Ritters, man, and you got Giselle, man. I think that balances out, man, where I can look at this frame and not instantly vomit. Seriously, fuck Giselle. But hey, it was cool that Bambi got a cameo. I didn't think we were going to see any of Bambi in Core 3. I thought like her relevance and time is done, man. Core 2, that's all we're getting of her. So the fact we got any screen time of her in Core 3 and in the ED as well, hey, I'll take it, man. I'll take it. Because that's probably the last time we're going to see Bambi. Lily Toto might still have some relevance, man. We might see her pop up here and there, man. Giselle probably as well, but Bambi, I think her tenure is done, man, unfortunately. Anyway, we also get to see Ryukin and Ishin as well, also reacting to what's going on with the shaking. This is when we get this really amazing like 3D panning shot around the Soul Palace before it goes back to when Ichigo, once the other ones have landed, once Ichigo and the crew have gotten inside, man. It looked really fucking cool. There was like, I think there was like 3 total 3D panning shots in this episode, man, and they all looked amazing, man. Like, I gotta hope that becomes a thing for the rest of Core 3, man, as we get a lot of these 3D panning shots, man, because they looked amazing, man. I would be down to see more of these throughout the rest of the core. And Ichigo declares that he is here to stop Yuwach. And of course, when Yuwach says like, oh, you're here to stop me. You're stopping from killing the Soul King, right? I have foreseen this. And Ichigo's like, bro, what the fuck are you on about foreseen? And Orihime points out about his eyes. He's like, hey, is it just me or is his eyes looking kind of weird? Like he got like 4 pupils on like both of his, like 4 pupils in his eyes. Anyway, Ichigo asks him what's up with his eyes. He tells him as we get this really nice like slow zoom in on Yuha as he explains the Almighty, or at least his eyes. These are the eyes that see all. They are the proof of a true Quincy. Everything rests in the palm of my hands. The future of the Soul King and your future as well. And this is when Ichigo grabs his sword, man. Oh my god, I love the pose he does when he like grabs his Zanpakutos, man. Oh, I love that pose, man. Like, this episode was so fucking good, man. But anyway, like I said, he grabs both of his swords, and Ichigo says they won't let him. That's what these powers are for, referring to his Zanpakutos. And Yugo's like, so he has 2 Zanpakuto. Hey, he says, go ahead, use them. Let's see if you can defeat me with those blades, or if they'll just break once again. This is when we get to the Sakuga cut of the episode, man, with great animation, tons of debris, effects animation was on point, man, impact frames out the wazoo. This looked amazing as they clap before they jump outside. They start like just flying all over the place. You got Nakamura cubes fucking everywhere. It looked absolutely amazing. We also get another 3D panning shot when Ichigo uses Getsuga. That looked absolutely amazing. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, they eventually land into the hot springs, that was meant for healing. That was meant to heal them from one of the guys from Squad Zero. I forget the dude's name. And of course, with that, I forget what the move was called, but that thing that Quincy's have, that like blue electricity thing they have inside their bodies, is meant to be like a sword that can be used as like a shield. I forget what the move itself was called, but he basically uses that to block Ichigo's Zanpakuto from striking. As he tells him, "Nice try," and then uses Sankint Bungan, if I'm pronouncing that right. And it seems like Ichigo used Getsuga to like block it or as the smoke cleared before they head right back at it where they charge right towards each other. And this is when they just start flying all over the place, going through like all of the different Squad Zero like areas, man. Just absolutely just like wrecking shit everywhere, man. Before they clash once again in a really nice shot once their swords finally fully clash. Like I said, the effects work here looked absolutely spectacular, man. And Yuha asks him, "What's wrong? Aren't you going to fight back? If you fear, the only future left for you is death." He then uses caress. I'm probably mispronouncing that, man. I am not German. And while Ichigo uses Getsuga Jujisho, if I'm pronouncing that right. And these two attacks class, we get another really nice 3D. I don't know if this one was 3D. It probably was, but we see like a 3D panning shot around the attack as their attack class, man. Looked absolutely spectacular. And then we get this really hard shot of Ichigo looking downwards towards Yuha's fallen body through like the debris of one of the buildings with Jujisho behind him, man. Like I said, man, whoever was the storyboard artist for this episode, man, as well as whoever the director was, they fucking cooked, man. They absolutely cooked with this episode. Ichigo tells him it's over, and Yuha does indeed compliment Ichigo and acknowledge that he has gotten stronger. But this is when Yuha gets serious, and this is when he actually opens his eyes, and this is when he starts using Almighty. And I'm not gonna hold you guys, he absolutely just buries Ichigo here at this current moment. Like before, man, he's teleporting behind him, everything, man. He's finishing his fucking sentences. It was not pretty, man. Ichigo got his absolute ass beaten right here, man. We also get this really hard shot where he sends him to the bottom part of the Soul King's palace, and then Yuha stands on top of him, man. And the way he was framed, man, it just looked absolutely amazing. I love that. That shot looked absolutely amazing, man. Before he sends him back through the bottom of the Soul Palace, back to the top, where it seems like Orihime and the others just decided to, like, chill out and sit down while Ichigo is fighting him. It seems like, once they finally return. And then we get to arguably probably my favorite shot of the episode, man, where we see some of the debris in the fallen buildings from the Soul Society, man. But we start to see it ripple a little bit, and then the camera pans out, revealing it's just a pond just like a pond of water around in the debris in the rubble of what happened to the Serete, man. That shot was absolutely good. Like I said, that might have been my favorite shot, not counting obviously the action modes or anything, man. If we're talking like strictly like on a storyboard level, this one was probably my favorite in the episode, man. This was so cool, man. Like I said, the storyboard in this episode was really well done, man. Very creative, man, and I absolutely love this cut right here, man. This looked absolutely amazing. Anyway, we're back with Rukia and Renji. They mentioned the trembles won't stop, so Rukia suggested they go to Urahara in the Department of R&D to figure out to see what's going on. Renji's like, "Is it this way?" And she's like, "No, you fool, it's this way." So they head over back there. We then head over to Shinji, Soifon. So it's good to see Soifon get a small cameo here, along with Shinji and Momo, as they all get a quick little cameo before Soifon just disappears. And then we see Juichiro trying to resurrect or save Kenpachi. So we'll see where that goes. But then we head over back to the Department of R&D. You can see You can see Yoruichi's brother in the background if you were paying attention. But Issei asks Urahara, asking her about the cause of this world, goes back to the conflict between the Quincy's and the Soul Reapers 1,000 years ago. He says that's correct. And then she asks, why did the Quincy's head to the royal palace before destroying all the Soul Reapers? Urahara stops with me and looks at her before we cut back over to Ichigo, who is now down on the floor, and Yuha continues on saying that you had to have foreseen this. You saw the power of the Soul King who can repel the darkness. How even someone with that power, with the power to overturn the world, he could see everything in the three worlds, even 1,000 years into the future with his eyes, and even foresaw the tragedy of what happened to Quincy. And even after being able to see all this, he still abandoned the Quincy's. This is when we cut over back to Urahara's. Now we have this overhead rotating shot that's closing in on Urahara as he explains to Issei. Mentioning top of the Hell Quincy's face near extension twice, just because they didn't fit into the system of this world. So if the Quincy King stormed into the royal palace, that could only be for one reason. That's when we cut back over to Yuwach, as he says, "I will kill my father." So there you go. Now, judging from this episode, it's like I said, I'm not much of a Bleach lore guy, so I could be completely off base here when on top of this. So if there are any Bleach lore experts watch this video, man, please correct me if I'm wrong in the comment. But it seems like what happened is that the Soul King is obviously can see everything and is in charge of overlooking the three worlds: the world of the living, the Hueco Mundo, as well as the Soul Society. So we can more or less assume that the Soul King is the creator of all things. He is the creator of Hollows, he's the creator of the Soul Reapers, and he's also the creator of the Quincy's. Like I said, this is my guess. I am probably completely off base here. But it seems like he was indeed the creator, and what we saw at the start of the episode, that he was the creator of the Quincy's, but he just ended up abandoning his children, you could say, in the Quincy's. And now Yuwach, who, like I said, seemed to have been born from the Soul King, that is indeed his father, is now out for revenge and will kill the Soul King for abandoning him and for abandoning the Quincy's. That's at least my understanding of what's happening. Like I said, I'm not a Bleach lore guy, so I could be completely off base. And he says that he will create a new world. This is when Ichigo starts to skid up, man. And I love the sound design here of like his swords, like gliding against the floor as Ichigo gets back up. I like the sound they use, man. I thought it was a very nice sound that they used here. So Ichigo gets back up now. He's ready to throw down once again with blood all over his face. And Yuwach asks him, "Do you have a reason to turn your sword against me?" And Ichigo tells him that I came here to stop you. I came to stop you and protect the Soul Society, the world of the living, and Hueco Mundo, all of it. And Yuwach tells him, "The Quincy blood and you will never forgive the Soul King." This is when Ichigo charges right towards Yuwach with Orihime right behind him, giving him some backup, healing my man as he charges in towards Yuwach, man. This was fucking awesome, man. I popped big for this moment, man. I did see this on Twitter, because you guys know, like I meant to start the video, man. It took me forever to to finally get to this episode, man, because everything's going on, man. Like right now, man, you guys know I record the opening part of the episode like 2 a.m. It's currently like 6:13 p.m. right now on Sunday, as I'm finally getting a chance to record the rest of the review. So yeah, man. But anyway, I did see parts of this on Twitter a little bit ago, but even when I got to see the episode, man, I still pop big for this, man. It was such cool, man. You guys know me. I'm a big Ichihime share, man. So whenever we get some moments between them, man, and I know there's a big one coming. I don't know that if we're going to see that in Core 3 or that's something we're going to see in Core 4, but I know there's one other big moment with Ichigo and Orihime teaming up, man, that I'm hyped to see. Especially once we get that episode in the dub, man, and I get to hear that with JYB and Stephanie, man. Oh, that's going to be legendary, man. Anyway, Orihime heals up Ichigo as he charges towards Yuwach, man. Like I said, this was fucking awesome, man. We then get a cut over back to Ichibe as he apologizes to the human and says that they will, and that it seems like they will not be able to stop Yuwach as Ichigo hits Getsuka Tensho. But of course, Yuwach manages to block it with the force, I guess. I'm not entirely sure what he was using here, but he manages to block the attack with some sort of shield from his hand or whatever. But then we cut back over to Ichibe as he has his brush there and he writes and he draws something on the floor as he says, "That's what peace is all about." Or rather, he says, "Not to worry, that's what all peace is all about." And the shot we get of Ichibe, just like deadpan, just like staring into your soul, man. The key animation here looked absolutely amazing, man. And like his Seiyu, man, I'm like, oh shit, like. I want to know what Ichibe is planning here, man. What does he plan on doing, especially when he looks like that, man? I am definitely interested to see what that is all about with Ichibe. Anyway, we cut over back to Renji and Rukia as they're kind of wondering what the hell's causing the tremors and what's causing earthquakes, man. Rukia might think that Renji is worried that squadrons are been completely wiped out. Rukia thinks it might have been due to them releasing their Bankai or an equally powerful attack. Neither of them knows what's going on, but anyway, they managed to eventually catch up back with Shinji at R&D and get inside, and we're going to meet up, of course, with Urahara. And Rukia asks him what's going on with the tremors, and he tells him that he has to deal with what's going on with the Soul King. That's when we cut back over to Ichigo, and Yuwach. Loki starts talking shit to Ichigo around him. Hey, look, you think nobody else? Where at this point he's asking like, you think nobody else can do that? And Ichigo declares that I don't care if someone else can do it. That's not a good reason for me to run from this fight, man. Damn straight, Ichigo. And as Yuwach continues to waffle on about the Soul King and everything, man, man. Yoruichi uses this opportunity to wrap some strings around, which is good to see Yoruichi get a little small moment in this episode, man. I look forward to hearing Wendy Lee do this in the dub, man. Thank God. Man, bro, that shit with Court 2, man, with her, man, and Daenerys, man. Jesus, what a fucking shitstorm that was. But luckily we are past that, man. The secret timeline has been, you know, conserved, man. Wendy is still voicing Yoruichi. You know, I feel bad for Daenerys, man, because she definitely got done dirty as well, along with Wendy, man, but everything is back into place now. Wendy is back to voicing Yoruichi, man. But that definitely should never have happened. Anyway, she tells him that you sure like to talk, and it leaves you full of openings. And she says, like, if you touch any of the streets, you'll be torn apart, so don't move. As she uses the attack, I'm probably gonna mispronounce this. Tenshi Hiso Hisaki Kumu Oi? If I pronounce that right. I probably mispronounced that, man. But of course, Yuwach just blows it away with his fire, which some of the flames end up like catching onto the curtains that were behind him, man. As the curtains start to burn up from the fire, man. Once again, the flame effects here also look amazing, by the way, man. Like, I know it's not but it bears repeating, man. The effects work in this episode, man, was absolutely spectacular. And this shot of no light where Yuwach like explains all this, man, while the curtains behind him are on fire, man. It looks amazing, honestly, man. He says that he foresaw it all, that you would meet to resurrect Ichigo, or how you would show up here at his urging, and that you arrived too late. And when he says that, man, that's when it's revealed of Yuwach's sword pierced through the Soul King, man. Of course, everyone is shocked by this, and everyone's wondering if that's the Soul King. Genjimaru is like, you bastard, did you just kill the Soul King? Yoruichi mentions that he's not dead yet, that he's still alive. Ichigo rushes over there to pull the sword out of him, and then Yuwach continues on saying, actively goading him to like, come on, man, pull the sword out, man, I know you can do it. And then right when Ichigo takes it out, he says, and destroy the Soul Society with your own hands. By this point, man, the Quincy, I forget what this move is called, but like that Quincy, the blue string electricity looking thing, now surrounds Ichigo's arm. And once again, Yuwach talks about how he foresaw this, man. Like, no lie, man. Like, the way that Yuwach be talking about like how he foresaw all this is like low key like the meme that everyone is like the meme about how everything was all a part of Aizen's plan. Like that's like the meme of how everything was a part of Aizen's plan. That's literally Yuwach's power set. No lie, man. He's probably like the most busted villain in all of Bleach, man. Like this is just absolutely just insanity, man. It's like, yes, I foresaw this. It's absolute madness, man. The Quincy blood in you will never forgive the Soul King's existence. It can't. It won't. If the Quincy blood courses through you, you must slay the Soul King. As Ichigo cuts the Soul King in half. And I also gotta say, shout out to Morita, man. He sounded amazing here, man. And also, one other thing I gotta mention, because I don't think I've mentioned this before in this review. I might have mentioned the start, man. But the music for this episode, man, was absolutely fantastic, man. Sagasu absolutely cooked, man. The soundtrack for Core 3, man, at least I'm pretty sure there was at least a couple new tracks that were in this episode. They might have been reused tracks, like I could never usually tell, but the tracks that were played in this episode, man, were absolutely fantastic. But anyway, Ichigo cuts down the Soul King. Everyone is shocked by this. And then as Yuwach is literally, Ichigo was on his floor, shocked at what he did, man. As Yuwach stands above him, towering over Ichigo, man. Like, no lie, this shit goes hard, bro. Not gonna lie. He tells him how he gave him the spiritual pressure that resided in his sword, and it called to his blood, your will, your actions, your everything is connected to my will. And then in order to kill the soul, and in order to break the Soul King's seal, he needed someone who possessed the Quincy, Human, Soul Reaper, Fullbringers, and Hollow powers. He needed Ichigo, who possessed all of them. And once again, we get some really nice shots here, man. You guys know me. I low-key like some good reflective shots. But like I said, the storyboard of this whole episode was fan. But as Yuwach continues waffling on, we see a shot of the crystal that the Soul King's in has shown a reflection of Yuwach before the camera pans out, and that is a reflection inside Yuwach's eye, man. Looked amazing, man. Like I said, the storyboard of this episode was just spectacular, man. Like the storyboard here was so good, man. And that this was all the future that he had foresaw. By this point, then all pandemonium goes off, man. We hear the earthquakes get way stronger, man. The roof of the research of the Department of Research and Development completely caves in, man. We head back to the world of living, where we have to get to see Tatsuki and Keigo, man. So they also got a quick cameo in this episode as well. So that was good to see as well, where none of them can figure out what's going on, where the epicenter of this is. They start to wonder if this is even a normal earthquake. As we see Tatsuki look at the past that Shunsui gave him at the end of Core 2. Before we cut back over to Kisuke, as they start to resume power, they start to wonder if the Soul King is dead. Before we cut back over to Ichigo, as Yuwach says, "Come, Ichigo. Let us watch it together. The end of the Soul Society." As then we get the title sequence, man. Bleach 28, Kill the King. Absolutely epic way of ending the episode off, man. Like this shit went hard, bro. Not gonna lie, man. This episode went hard, man. Such an amazing episode, man. What an episode, man. I'm looking forward to next week, man. I think that might be Aizen Seiyu that was doing the poem, so we might see some Aizen next week. I'm not entirely sure, but this was an incredible episode, man. Definitely my favorite of Core 3 so far, even though we're only 2 episodes in. But yeah, but this was a banger episode on all fronts, man. And yeah, man. Overall, my final friends is going to be a 10 out of fucking 10, ladies and gentlemen. As always, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on social if you feel like it. Link subscribe below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.